This is exactly how the game should be played. Like, just nothing too try hard. Just some, you know, some small scale fights. There's no crazy shit going on. You know what I mean? Like, we're fighting over a camp. There's no siege involved. You know, we're just chilling. We're just chilling. No try hard. No one needs to join voice. No one's getting kicked because they're not playing better. No one's getting kicked because they're not in voice. There's no hidden tag. Everyone's playing the video game. You know, this is how it could be. You know, this is how it should be. They just need to give us some rewards for killing players. They need to activate these Emblem of the Avenger. Every time you kill 100 players, you get an Emblem of the Avenger. Those should be traded in for gold. So it gives some incentive to actually fight and win versus players, right? So you kill players, not just taking empty towers, right? You don't want to promote a game to fight versus NPCs in a PvP game, because people will just abuse it by logging onto the game when the enemy's sleeping, or they will avoid PvP, and then therefore people will just log off the game because it's not interesting. It's not engaging, right? So they should... One emblem for 1 gold, 1 emblem for 50 silver, nothing crazy. But yeah, and then a reason to win, like an actual proper reason to win the matchup. But then again, do we want people to win the matchup? Does that make for an engaging game for the player base? If there was a reason to win, and then people just wanted to cap towers and avoid PvP, they didn't feed because it loses them points, they'll protect their KDR. Like, is that good for the game? I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think if you give more points for killing players, again, it promotes people to PvP. People are going to say, oh, you can bandwagon. People will then... That will promote people to bandwagon to the winning team. That already happens, by the way. So, and if they bring out alliances, then hopefully they'll stop people from transferring so often. Is it a good thing to have alliances? It depends on how they implement it, what their goal is. Like, if they can implement it in a way that it encourages people to play the game, then great. I mean, it would be nice to fight around different areas, right? It'd be nice to fight around some different situations, but it's taking too long, or the enemy doesn't want to fight you and they're hiding in a tower. The game's not interesting because it's very difficult to attack because of siege and because of how casual the player base is. The alliances is one system, but it isn't the solution to the game. Like, the game mode really should have a population that's balanced, right, at all times. That's the issue. And if they can address that with alliances and it makes people play the video game, and there's maps full of players, they're not AFKing, then GG's, you know. One team hopefully won't be outnumbered and they can play the video game. We still don't know enough about alliances, though, to even make any sort of judgment of how it's going to affect the game. Red team must be having a lot of fun. You say that with some sarcasm, I'm assuming. Yeah. Now times that by 7. Times that by 7 days. So imagine you play a video game and your server's getting dominated for 7 days. Day 1. Okay. Day 2. Okay. Day 3, you're starting to think, "Wow, I don't know, man. Maybe I don't even log into the game." As you can see from the KDR, like, it isn't looking too good for them. 0.85 KD. It's not terrible, but it's you know, it isn't 2.4. I mean, they've got a 0.6 KD for the matchup. It isn't looking good for them. And this is where the alliances thing won't help the video game, because there's going to be some people out there that won't join an alliance, and they won't join a squad because they're not in the alliance, because the alliance will only invite people that are in the alliance. Probably it's just going to promote people to play together, but it might alienate some population. But if they can balance the casuals with the more try-hard groups, then GG's. If it works, it works. What we want is balanced matchups. That's what we want. That's what we care about. Balanced matchups. We don't want one team getting farmed and dominated the entire time. Now, the only thing is, though, veteran players or better players tend to play together with groups of players who are like-minded, right? So we got to get the player base up to the same level, and that's where the community needs to work together to either promote sharing meta builds or promote helping each other, giving each other feedback, or, you know, obviously there can be some trash talk, guys, but at the end of the day, after the fight is done, you need to show some respect to your opponents, right? You got to show some respect, winning or losing, you know. you're not going to gain anything from being an arsehole, right? Other than maybe some memes. Yeah, maybe some short-term memes, but for the player base, like it's gonna be good if everyone helps each other. But we want opposition. We want we want rivalry. We don't want everyone to be PMA, man. Like I hate this fucking GVG bullshit that's going on where everyone's fucking PMA. Thanks for the scrims, bro. Show respect to Maguma. Yeah, you should show respect to Maguma. They play the game. They play the game well. They play the game well. Winning is hard in the game. It's hard, especially when you have to fight versus that type of style of, but just play the same style but better. Maybe you're a casual gamer, and maybe this step of alliances will help you be less casual. Maybe it won't make any difference. Who knows? Maybe you just join Maguma. It's 4 guys. Unlucky. Yo, there's a guy selling a Maguma account for 120 euros, guys. Go buy it. It's on some website. Surely you'll buy it. Time to sell your Maguma account. Account sharing is against TOS. Unlucky. Alona and Gandara almost decide to stop playing this matchup because they can't win fight. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I know one wants to pug stomp. Do they? Do people want to pug stomp? Do you guys enjoy that type of thing? Do you enjoy rolling over the enemies and then the enemies logging off the game? No, I don't. I don't like it. Maybe that's just me. Maybe people enjoy that type of shit. But I don't fucking want to do that for fucking of 7 days, dude. 7 yeah, 7-day stomping is just not interesting, man. But that's the thing. Their linking system isn't based on skill. It's based on like population or some weird algorithm. So it never worked ever. It's never ever worked. The linking. The only thing works for linking is potentially you can join a server that's full. Well, versus world player base might go down a little bit if they take the pedal off of the content that they're releasing. And then there's a new World vs. World game mode coming out. Throne Liberty, large scale, large fights, next gen MMO, siege battles. You know, that's definitely going to attract some players to play. Diablo's coming out. You know, people will leave and play Diablo. You know, maybe there's some new expansion packs for some other MMOs, you know, coming out. You know, their player base will go down. They should pair up KDR. I mean, they have all of the stats, right? They have all of the information. They can, and if they don't, they can get it, right? They can look at all of the matchups. They can look at all of the KDRs. They can look at all of the, you know, the matchups where it's been completely dominated. But you have groups of players playing together, and they're going to be strong no matter what. You're never going to be able to break these players up. 20%, 25% of the matchup points can be gathered from killing players, but the majority of your points is scored by holding objectives and upgrading objectives and capping objectives and doing it when the enemy's sleeping, or doing it when the enemy's fighting even. While we're doing nothing here,